that's the reason why they would hold on to it. That's what I would normally do.
Or they
as.
just fuck with it.
Yeah, but why would you only fuck with it?
Because a lot of women like to be held down by one man and like to feel protected and that she's safe with them.
True.
No shot. No shot.
That a woman wants to feel protected and
not while her man is out fucking other women.
No.
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
no.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not true. If the man is high value enough, then the girl will accept anything. It's only in the case where she feels that she's superior to the man, or he's not high value enough, he's not providing enough, that she feels that way.
Unless you're pulling, if you're Leonardo DiCaprio, because you're Leonardo DiCaprio, you can do it. But if you're 99% of people listening, sure. But like the only way you can do this is if you're pulling somebody that's way, way, way less than what you could.
Why don't you try to be Leonardo DiCaprio, man?
Because I don't.
Oh, by the way, it was actually the first time I heard it was Donovan Sharp who said it actually depends on your income differential, what you can get away with, right? So if you're making $1 million more than her, then you can have a girlfriend. She can't see it. If you make $10 million more than her, the girlfriend could follow and live in the house and it wouldn't matter. If you make $100 million more than her, then you can have a full-on harem and it doesn't matter, right? So it really depends on your status, your financial status as a guy, what you can get away with. But if you're just a normal guy, just slightly superior to her in terms of finances, then you can't even get away with having a girlfriend. You would have to cheat on the sly, basically.
I don't want to be like, because I don't want to date random fucking people that I dump in like 2 years ago or whatever.
Just listen to Destiny Hamster, right? He just doesn't want to admit that he wants to have multiple girls. He just can't do it, and so he's accepted what he can get, what he can accomplish.
Yeah. So
if you want to be Leonardo DiCaprio, you can. That's on you. But you're asking me why I wouldn't do it. I'm telling you why.
No, why not aim for that standard? Why not, if you're saying that's the highest standard for a man, why are you settling?
How are you settling?
You're saying that Leonardo DiCaprio could pull that off. You're saying that he's the highest value male.
If that's what he wants to do, how old is he?
I think he's 40.
Sure. Yeah.
What?
If that's how he wants to live his life, then go for it. He can do it.
He just broke up with a 25-year-old because it was her birthday. She
He don't go over 25.
Always. Goodbye.
But I wouldn't break up with my girlfriend when she turns 25. I don't like. I'm not in that like I need a young girl thing that a lot of the men are on.
When I look at relationships, they require a lot of work from both ends. And if one person is putting their attention on a whole bunch of people, and the other person is like dedicated solely to that relationship, it just seems super imbalanced to me. Like I don't understand.
That's right. And that's the only kind of relationship that women want, an imbalanced relationship. A relationship where the guy needs her less than she needs him. That's the kind of relationship that she wants. The kind of relationship where the man is superior to her in every single way. Like what Destiny is implying is that you should strive for an equal relationship, and if it's imbalanced, there's something wrong. But there isn't something wrong with that. That's the only kind of relationship that women want. Even Destiny's girlfriend is with him because he is superior to her, right? Even though she sleeps with other men because, he's an idiot and he's a useful idiot for the matriarchy. So, she can get away with more than, the average girl could because of his stupidity. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't meet some kind of requirement in her eyes of being superior to her, at least financially speaking. Hello and welcome to the Helios blog. My name is Helios, here for another reaction video. If you're new to the channel, liking the content, hit that sub, hit all for notifications. If you'd like to support me, I have a Patreon, newly revamped, posting weekly content. Patreon.com/theheliosblog. Just go there and subscribe. You could also drop me a donation. Look at Adrian R. Look at Tom M. You could join them. You could be up on the board as well. Shout outs to them. Again, it's patreon.com/theheliosblog. Let's get back to this.
I think it is mostly for men is just the ability to. Like I'm out right now. I go out to clubs, I go out to restaurants, I network, I meet a lot of people. I don't want to have to feel like, well, I got the wife at home. It's a lot of the freedom aspect that I like about it. The fact that
but when you say that, that
Base.
sounds like a single man.
No, because I love my girl. I love
Not
being
so
alone.
much that you're willing to.
Yeah, but if
should
she
let her do the
agrees
thing
with
as
it,
well.
no, if she agrees with the terms, that's it. Just like you establish that monogamous relationship, if you want to be tied in that hole and do that, then play to that game.
I don't think anyone wants to agree to that.
But
if
there's
they
just
do,
no
they
way.
do.
Because you guys
Wait. Did Destiny's girl just say no girl wants to agree to a monogamous relationship? Yeah, she's telling on herself. So Destiny doesn't fulfill her, and so she's going out and sleeping with Chad. But what he does is he makes the wallet nice and heavy, And so she's getting the best of both worlds. She's getting the superior wallet from Destiny, and she's getting the superior rocket ship, let's say, from Chad.
No.
You should
Is
meet
it
her.
on like a
You should
equal
meet her.
terms type of thing? Like you guys are very.
Communication.
Exactly.
Would
If you
you guys
agree,
agree
like,
with
hey,
that?
I'm
I
out
don't
here
know.
in these streets. It is what it is. It's not like I'm gonna go out here hunting. It's just
Yeah.
like if a girl comes up to me, hey, I'd like to suck
Exactly.
your dick in your nice.
I'm not
whip."
actively seeking it out, but
Like,
it's nice to be able
alright,
to
cool.
exercise that muscle. It's
Yeah,
nice
but
to
if
still have
you're a
that-
woman exercise it, you'd be in.
Then hell
You'd
no.
have a huge
no,
problem
because a
with it.
woman
Yeah, because a girl exercising her options means that she doesn't respect you, right? Because women are serially monogamous and men are polygamous by nature. So if look, the girl here that's beside Destiny is like, you know, she actually agrees with what Sneako's saying, but based on her body language. But anyway, yeah, women are not polygamous by nature, and the amount of guys that a girl has to sleep with to become polygamous is like nuts.
exercising that muscle and she's in a different mental space. But actually, what I realized about having an open relationship is being that guy who still has the ability to hunt. It keeps you on your toes and it keeps you the best man you could be. Once you get, what I felt when I get comfortable in a relationship being monogamous and everything, that's when I stop working out. That's when I start getting lamer. That's when I'm watching Netflix and I'm like, okay, with my boob hair, and I'm just like laying down. But when I still need to, when I still have my balls attached and I still like, I could do what I want to do. I'm a
It's
better
not-
boyfriend.
So
to
this is
her.
like the weird paradox of some of the red pill stuff is that it talks like, no, I'm not including you guys, just talking to Sneako here. You talk about like self-help, building yourself as a good person, like becoming a good man, doing all these things. But it sounds like at the end of the day, you're a slave to
No.
women's opinions of you.
No, I'm
You-
not.
well, hold on.
No,
You
I'm
just
not.
said that if you're not
That's
hunting
not what I'm
women,
talking about.
your
No,
drive to go to the gym
I'm saying it
disappears.
helps.
Your
I'm saying it
why?
helps.
Why doesn't? Why do you need women? Why do you need random women? Why can't your
Like you
woman
just like
inspire
do
you to
it
do that?
yourself. Your
Like,
inner
shouldn't that be
mind.
the-
No, because I'm saying being with one woman and being monogamous kind of brings it down. Like it's like the married guy, like, well, got the wife, I would, but the
Yeah. So here's the thing. If you're in a relationship with a girl, even if you're monogamous, so whether you're monogamous or not, and the like, you're not doing stuff because of her, then you're doing it wrong. You are the leader of your relationship, whether you're monogamous or not, right? So you're gonna do what you want. But if you're in a monogamous relationship, you're not gonna sleep around with other girls. But you could, right? And here's what you need to understand as a man. Doesn't matter if you're monogamous or if you're polygamous as a man. You still need to be superior, because the second you stop being superior and you stop being able to get other girls, if you're not the kind of guy that could cheat, then you're not the kind of guy that women are interested in, right? Whether you're monogamous or not. So one way you can be out, you know, with multiple girls with a NMG, right? Because what Sneako is describing is an NMG, non-monogamous girlfriend arrangement. So it's not as deep as a monogamous relationship, because girls will often hold back if you're in that kind of arrangement. But you also get to sleep with other girls at the same time, right? You know, officially. Many monogamous relationships, right, quote unquote, for men are actually secretly open on the guy's side, right? So he has the girl and he secretly sleeps with girls on the side. And if your girl doesn't believe that you're able to get other girls, then your relationship's already over, right? Because then she's going to really start to squeeze the... So that's what Sneako is describing. He's saying, if you allow yourself to relax, then you're done. And what Sneako is saying is when you're in an NMG arrangement, you're less likely to relax because, you know, you're still hunting other girls. But the truth is that even if you're monogamous, you can't ever relax. You have to act as though you are hunting other girls, because only then do you create the dread that's necessary to maintain a long-term relationship properly. So, in fact, when you're in a marriage, that's when you need to be the strongest, the fittest, the best, because otherwise your girl is going to disdain you and treat you like garbage.
wife.
Then just be single.
You know those guys?
Bro.
I think it's an age thing, though.
Destiny,
I'm
yeah.
not
Bro, you're
a
trying to-
disrespectful way. I think it's an age
go ahead.
thing, though, because if you haven't really lived and fulfilled that sexual department for an alpha guy, you're gonna need your dick scratched constantly, no matter where you're at.
It's not even what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to get my dick scratched constantly. I just like to keep the everything. I like the single guy aspect of my life and being in a relationship at the same time. I like being.
I think the girl is actually right. Once you've hit an N count of 50 plus, right? Or whatever it is for you, whatever the N count is for you that satisfies your male hind brain, then you don't need to be as in a chasing frame to get new girls. It's true. You will care more about quality than quantity at that point, right? that's why they say on Fresh and Fit and in all of the shows, and I say it on my show as well, is that you need to have an income of 50 plus, right? Because only then can you actually discern which girls are good and which girls are wasting your time or just there for friends with benefits or for fun only, right? That's just how it is. So keep that in mind. Okay, let's continue.
Being like, yeah, I'm the single guy. You walking out, put on nice shirts.
This is like an acceptable. And shit. I'm gonna respond to that, and then because I don't want you, because I'm cutting you off a lot. Just I can see that there are sometimes monogamous couples where both people are like really flirty and they kind of like have fun like that, but they don't actually go as far as like actual making out with somebody or fucking somebody or doing things like that. So I think that's okay. But like
that's not okay. No, that is not okay. If your girl is flirting with another guy, it's done. Like already the relationship is dying. That is not allowed.
Need to like have to be out and exercising options on just one side. It just those relationships are always gonna be super fucked unless you've got that girl like you're so many leagues ahead of her that she knows that she can't find anything even close to you. That's what I think.
Why I don't think in terms of leagues. Like that's a female idea that you're applying.
If she can find somebody even remotely similar to you though, who's not going to be walking out on her to go fuck other women, she's going to exercise that option.
That's not true. It's actually not true. Because women find the ability to sleep with other girls attractive. So she's actually less likely to leave you if she knows that you could, or if you have in the past. It's true. So what Destiny is saying is false.
She's going to leave for somebody else.
He's talking about a 3.
Right,
MJ, go ahead, MJ, please.
Here's my thing, bro. You're kind of hinting at like this fairness. Because you're like, hey, Sneako, bro, well, she should be able to do the same thing. It's like, bro, what's fair? Let me ask you this. I'll pose this to you. What's fair if it's both side open-ended, but you know a female she outbounds you by leagues with the amount of dick she can get just walking down the street.
Facts.
But if you pull up outside, hey, who wants some of this dick? It's going to be crickets.
Literally. No, exactly right. It's inherently, like, not fair. Women are much better able to get bedroom fun than men, but it's not bedroom fun that they're after anyway. So if she's seeking bedroom fun from another man, it means that you are not providing it properly. That's just obvious. And if she says you're providing it properly and she's still seeking it from other men, then she's just lying. All right, here's an article by Rhoda Tomasi. The burden of performance, speaking of. From Love Story. Men are expected to perform, to be successful, to get the girl, to live a good life. Men must do, whether it's riding wheelies down the street on your bicycle to get that cute girl's attention, or to get a doctorate degree to ensure your personal success and your future families. Men must perform. Women's arousal, attraction, desire, and love are rooted in that conditional performance. The degree to which that performance meets or exceeds expectations is certainly subjective, and the ease with which you can perform is also an issue, but perform you must. One of the most fundamental misconceptions plugged-in men have with regard to their inter-bedroom fun relations with women is the issue of performance. Back in late March of this year, I read an interesting article from Rouge. Men are nothing more than clowns to the modern women, and it struck me that although I certainly agreed with him in the context he presented it, there was more to the entertainment factor than simple amusement on the part of women. Women don't seek out comfort or stability in men anymore. They seek entertainment. They seek distraction. They seek hedonistic pleasure. This is why provider men are so hopelessly failing today to secure the commitment of beautiful women in their prime. This is why even lesser alpha males fail to enter relationships with women beyond a few bangs. Once the entertainment or novelty you provide her declines, and it inevitably will, she moves on to something or someone else. In essence, the only way you can keep a girl is if you adopt the mentality of a soap opera writer, adding a cliffhanger to the end of each episode that keeps a woman interested, when being a good man no longer does. After reading this, I tried to imagine myself being a recently unplugged man or a guy just coming to terms with the uncomfortable truths of the RP and learning that all the comforting just be yourself and the right girl will come along rhetoric everyone convinced me of had been replaced by a disingenuous need to transform oneself into a cartoon character in order to hold the attentions of an average girl. That's kind of depressing, especially when you consider the overwhelming effort and personal insight necessary in realizing RP awareness. Rouge later tempered this with How to Be a Good Clown and Clown Game versus Good Man Game, and although he clarifies things well in game terms, the root of the frustration most guys will have with clown factor is that in these terms and in this context, their performance isn't who they are. In this environment, it's easy to see why the MG toe option seems like an understandable recourse for RP men. It's a very seductive temptation to think that a man can simply remove himself from the performance equation with regards to women. I'll touch on this later, but what's important here is understanding that the performance game men are necessarily born into. Like it or not, play it or not, as a man you'll always be evaluated on your performance, or the perception of it. I think what trips a lot of men up early in their RP transformation is sort of a sense of indignation towards women, that they should not have to be someone they're not, and play a character role that simply isn't who they are in order to hold a woman's interest. I covered this idea and Have a Look, and developed how women are like casting agents when it comes to the men they hope will entertain them. And this was really about a bedroom fun context when I went into it, but as I read Rucha's original article, I began to consider the women's character role they expect men to perform changes as their own phases of maturity dictates and their SMV can realistically demand it. In other words, the characters they want performed in their party years will be different than the ones they want after their epiphany phase, which may be different than the character they want for their midlife years. How realistic it is for men to be that character becomes less and less relevant as women are socialized to expect disappointment from men actually living up to the characters they're conditioned to believe they should realistically be entitled to at the various stages of their maturity. Living up. Right now, I'm sure various male readers are thinking, F this, I'm going to be who I am and any girl can't appreciate me for who I am is low quality anyway. This will probably bother you, but this is exactly the blue pill mentality just be yourself betas adopt for themselves. It's actually a lot of power to despise what you can't have, and deductively it makes sense. But the fact still remains, as a man you'll always be evaluated by your performance. So even with a screw it, I'll just be me mindset, you're still being evaluated on how you are just you. The simple fact is that you must actually be your performance. It must be internalized. In truth, you already are the performance, whether you dictate and direct that or whether you think you can forget it and hope your natural, undirected performance will be appreciated. But regardless, women will filter for hypergamous optimization based on how well you align with what they believe they're entitled to in a man in the context of their own perception of their SMV. Looks, talent, tangible benefits, and other core prerequisites may change depending on the individual woman, but to be a man is to perform. Even if you're a self-defined man going his own way who enjoys escorts to fulfill his needs, you still need to perform in order to earn the money to enjoy them. It doesn't get easier, you get better. For men, there's no true rest from performance. To believe so is to believe in women's mythical capacity for a higher form of empathy, which would predispose them to overriding their own innate nature. Women will never have the same requisites of performance for themselves for which they expect men to be. Hypergamy demands a constant, subliminal reconfirmation of a man's worthiness of her commitment to him, so there's never a parallel of experience. That's right. Okay, back to the video.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
You don't go into open relationships.
Huh?
Don't do an open relationship then. Yeah, that's an easy one.
Bro, but I'm telling you, just like you like to throw out statistics, like a 99% of men are literally outbounded by leagues just by a 7. Like a woman that's a 7. Yeah. A regular chick can get so much more sex than a guy who's a 9.
I understand.
It's absolutely true. Most women, especially when they're 18 to 23, they're in what I call the rock star phase. They get more attention or as much attention as the average male rock star, like that. Men will never understand that, like what women have for a very short period of time, because it's something that's unbelievable, right?
I agree with you, but
so
I'm just saying it's not about fair. Well, no, what's not fair is if you're walking out to go fuck other women and introducing all sorts of who knows what.
I was going out.
No, I'm not saying you. I mean you in general, not you.
I know you.
Yeah, but I'm saying on the one ended, like if one guy is going out, he could be getting STDs, he could be knocking other women up, he could be starting a whole bunch of fucking drama. There's all this shit that he's doing so that he can have fun while the woman is at home taking care of the house, at home chilling. Like, how is that fair?
I don't see that.
Again, okay. So Destiny is talking about drama like it's a bad thing, first of all. I don't know if you guys know, but girls love drama. So thinking that you might be out cheating on her actually helps her to stay in the relationship. Because women want men that can sleep around, that can. Not necessarily that do, but that can. The fantasy that he might actually helps to keep the relationship, believe it or not. That's called dread. And Destiny's talking like it's a bad thing, right? Or it needs to be even. Like if you want to go out and sleep around, then she should be able to go out and sleep around. No, because equal relationships don't exist. if a girl is allowed to go and sleep around, then she is superior because women have superior attention than men. And the second she sleeps with another man, she's given herself away to that man. So she's not yours anymore. She's that man's, and so on, right? So, and if a girl never gives herself in bedroom fun, it means she's had so much experience that she doesn't feel the pair bonding hormone anymore, which is even worse.
That's
Okay,
not,
so I will. Just go ahead, MJ, and then I'll go after you. My bad. Go ahead, please.
Bro, first off, the world is not fair. None of us are born in fair conditions. That's number
Preach.
one.
True.
Number two, it's like this. I'm a boss. So I'm gonna be out here doing my thing. It's not like I'm looking to get played, but if a girl comes up to me like, yo, I just left the gym. Hey, your car's nice. I'd like to suck your dick in your car. And I'm just gonna be like, well, I can't do this.
Got the wife at home. Sorry.
I gotta cuddle and eat
Gotta
Halo
watch
ice cream.
Netflix.
Watch Disney Plus like that. No, I'm not finna do that. Like you gonna suck this Johnson, and that's cool. And I'm gonna go back and
cuddle
treat
with
her
my
like,
wifey.
yeah, I'm gonna do this.
And I'm even happier. Hey, just
So what MJ is describing is actually the classic one-end open relationship that is many so-called monogamous relationships today, right? So girl will get into a relationship with an alpha male, right? And she just knows she's gonna get cheated on at some point. She just doesn't want to find out. She doesn't want to know. And that's what MJ is describing, right? That kind of relationship. And again, girls are more likely to marry and to stay with that than with Beta Billy or with Destiny.
got my dick sucked. How you doing? Hey, have a good day.
But she gotta be like, she just has to respect that I'm still gonna bring that that's a one-off, and it's because men and women look at sex differently.
Yeah,
like
It's all about maturity too. Because like you have to be mature to like understand a relationship like that. If you're immature and you're freaking out, like it's not gonna be okay.
It's totally okay. What are you? This is some wild Miami shit.
Most people
No,
can't.
no, hold
Like,
on.
if you're not-
If
if
your
you don't have
partner's
the-
out fucking somebody else, it's totally okay to be a little freaked out by that. That's a totally normal
Yeah.
human
But
reaction.
what I'm saying is like when I was out in Vegas, you have those types of couples that are actually totally okay with it.
Just on the
And
one
then-
side, on the
No,
one.
like it's
When there's
like
only
straight
one
up.
guy, there's only one
just
hooking
a
up
like
with girls.
all right.
it,
So
Can I jump in on the one-sided thing?
sure, if you want to.
Go for it.
So I think nowadays with some women and their mindset of dating is, oh, the dating world is trash. There's no good men out there. So when it's one-sided like that, it's in some of these women's heads is I found a good guy that meets, pretty much everything that I want to cross off. And okay, he wants to be open and, do X, Y, and Z. She's okay with that because she's getting the bills paid. She has a house and she's taking care of the house. She's, cooking.
That's right. That's exactly right. It's a trade. Relationships are a trade. So as a man, if you give a good enough deal, that's the result. You get to be one-sided open, right? But if you're not providing a good enough deal, then you don't get that, right? That's how it is. And how open you can be about how open you are also depends on how good a deal you're providing. That's how it is. All right, let's go on to the Reddit post. Holy, this is long. All right, let's see. Relationship advice posted 11 hours ago. My fiance, so the guy is 29 and she's 28, is showing real weird signs after 5 years of being together. There's some out of the blue red flags in my opinion, and I wanted to get some outside input on these situations to see if I'm just being overly sensitive. Long one, but please hear me out. So got engaged and bought a house in 2022. Things are going okay really and no issues. But recently this year, she's been going on about how a friend's partner buys her all these expensive designer bags and goes on about how he can even afford them, and she wishes she had them. The way she's wording it though and voicing it, it feels like she's saying, why don't you buy me things like that? This is keeping up with the Joneses. I've asked her why she brings it up all the time and acts disappointed, and she said because she'd like them. I've said, well, you're not going to get that from me because we're a lot more to pay and saving up for a wedding next year. She's mentioned it at least every week since the start of the year, and my response is always the same. Then she says she's joined a brides-to-be group on Facebook and starts going on about how big the diamonds are on their ring. Again, seemingly being passive-aggressive about how small hers is, even though it's a 0.8 with Halo, which equates to a total weight of 1, which I wouldn't mind, but it was a hefty price. Then when I mentioned that her ring was all I could afford, she's like, yeah, well, they look stupid that big anyway, obviously trying to deflect. Also said we weren't doing any cards or anything for Valentine's Day, and she came home with a printed one from Paint. I'm not bothered by that. But then she was like, where's my card? So I explained that we weren't doing cards like we said, so I didn't get one. I did actually get her a card, but just having a joke with her. But she instantly got in a mood and wouldn't talk to me. Anyways, I went upstairs and got a card to give it to her, and she changed the tune. I cooked a 3-course meal, went to the shop and bought her some drinks because she wanted something else to drink. And then near the end of the night, she was like, go and do a cup of tea. So I said, no, you go do it. And she had a big hissy fit. Then I said, I dropped you at a faraway train station this morning because your train was cancelled. Picked you up after wake from the train station, cooked you a 3-course meal, went to the shop and got you what you wanted. And you can't even get up and make us both a cup of tea? She's like, oh yeah, fine, I'll do it. But then changed the subject. I went to sleep and realized she didn't make me a cup of tea. I know it's trivial, but I feel like I'm genuinely taken for granted, and what I'm doing is either not good enough or she just doesn't care. Like, I go out of my way when she needs me, and she couldn't even make me a cup of tea on Valentine's Day when all she gave me was a card made on paint. Now I've realized this. I'm just looking back this past year and seeing how much I get taken for granted. Even though she says she loves me, she doesn't really show it apart from wanting a hug and kiss. Outside of that, she doesn't actually do anything around the house or even cook. Maybe I'm being dramatic, but we've just put a non-refundable deposit on a wedding ring, which is going to be a total of 16 to 18K for next year. And I'm just worried that in a year's time, she's going to be a much different person. Since, like I said, they're out of the blue comments and actions. Yeah, she doesn't respect you. She's just using you. Let's see the top comment. 263. I wouldn't worry about the deposit. That could be a drop in the bucket. Do not make any more non-refundable deposits until this behavior is discussed. Acts of service can really say a lot about your partner. I'm so happy to do things for my husband and he for me. It sounds like she's so fixated on material things she can't see all the things you're doing. Coveting and greed can make a person turn very ugly. She needs to face reality. 317 upvotes. You need to sit her down as soon as possible and have a conversation. Make sure you make a note of all these behavioral changes and be prepared to bring them up. I don't want to say that infidelity is occurring, but never rule it out as a possibility. However, what it sounds like to me is that she's slowly becoming unhappy with herself or the relationship because she's consistently comparing her life to other women's lives and wondering why she isn't on their level. And perhaps she's seeing you as the root cause. I could be wrong, but based on your version of the story, she's distancing herself from you and the relationship or is already checked out. I can't stress this enough. Talk to her OP and see what you can find out, because this behavior is usually how it starts and how relationships meet their end very fast. In some ways, it could actually work out in your favor, because if she's measuring your relationship based on your finances, that's not a woman you want to marry, because the minute things go wrong in your life financially, she may leave. There you go. So again, guys, like, appreciation in relationships is at an all-time low in 2023. Respect, all-time low. Caring about your partner, like your husband, all-time low. Look at this behavior. This is 2023, guys. Okay, we're going to end the video there. Again, if you're new to the channel, liking the content, hit that sub, hit all the notifications. If you'd like to support me, I do have a Patreon with exclusive content, newly revamped, posting weekly. Patreon.com/theheliosblog. Just go there and subscribe. Again, it's patreon.com/theheliosblog. You can also drop me a donation. Link is in the description. Shout outs to Adrian R and Tom M, who have already done that. Again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to listen to the end of the video. I really do appreciate it. You guys are wonderful. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.